Hi, I'm Nicole Contaduca, and I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and online nutrition coach. And today on Nutritionist Nicole Knows Nutrition, I want to talk about 3 tips to help you feel less guilty about eating. So I work with women who struggle with binge eating and a history of disordered eating or yo-yo dieting, and I help them finally break free of the diet cycle and have them finally stop binge eating and learn how to actually eat intuitively how we are meant to eat. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, share this video, save it, reference it back, let me know what you think about it, comment below. I'm so excited to talk about things like this. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. So like I said, today I want to talk about 3 tips to help you feel less guilty about eating food. So many times I have my clients come to me saying, oh, I feel so bad, I'm eating so good all week and then I eat really bad. I have a cookie or I have pizza or ice cream, and then that makes them just feel all this guilt because maybe they were eating, quote unquote good all week, and they have these fun foods and then they feel guilty or like a bad person. They actually say, like, when I eat a piece of pizza or ice cream, I feel like a bad person. So, that's crazy. Like, you're just eating something. How can eating something make you a bad person? It can't. It really can't. Unless I've seen a lot, unless you've stole the food, then maybe you can feel bad. But I highly doubt most of you have stolen the food. But if you have, we can talk about that. So my 3 tips. Number 1 is to try to look at food neutrally. So what I mean by that is to look at food not as, good versus bad. So really removing the labels of good versus bad, and really looking at food as just as food, it's there to nourish my body. So it's really being able to take, a piece of chocolate cake and an apple and keeping them on the same level, like playing field. So obviously an apple has more nutrients, is more nutrient dense than a cake, but if you were only given, an apple or a cake, you'd be able to eat either of those and not feel guilty about them if you're looking at them more neutrally. So at the end of the day, your body needs to be fed. So if you were only given the chocolate cake and you're like, no, I can't have that because it's not healthy enough, then you're depriving your body of what it needs. So really you're thinking of it as bad. So what we want to do is remove that. So knowing that our bodies, when we eat the cake or the apple, our body doesn't know that we chose the cake over the apple. It's getting digested the same. So inside of our body, it doesn't know that we've had the apple or the cake. It just is being digested. So sometimes it tends to help people with eating different foods, because if their body doesn't really know, why wouldn't you rather have something that you'd rather eat? If you'd rather eat the cake, then have it. But if you'd rather eat the apple, then have that too. So really just making sure that all food is on a neutral playing field. Another tip, number 2, would be to stop tracking your food. So stop calorie counting, stop logging in MyFitnessPal, stop tracking your macros. Really, when you do these things, it starts to make you crazy and obsessive. And the more crazy and obsessive you are about food, then that's when the feelings of the guilt or shame start to come along with it. So then maybe if you're eating something that's higher in calories or higher in some of your macros, it makes you feel more guilty because you could be having something else that has less amount of calories or less macros. So if you are to stop that and stop tracking everything, it tends to take away some of the obsession and some of the guilt. The last thing, my last tip, number 3, is to keep your body fed. So what I mean by that is trying to eat every few hours. So a rule I like to follow, not myself, an actual rule, but a loose rule, is every 3 hours. Every 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, try to eat something. So, having breakfast, 2 to 3 hours later, maybe come some kind of snack, 2 to 3 hours later, lunch, and so on and so forth. So with keeping your body fed, you're never getting too hungry, which then can ultimately lead to less binge eating. So when you let yourself get too hungry, then the chances of binging are a lot higher. So if you reduce that, then the chances of binging is lower, and then you won't feel the guilt that you usually feel after a binge. So then again, less guilt around eating. So those are my 3 tips. trying to keep food neutral, stop tracking your food, and keeping your body fed. If you found this to be informative, please share it. Comment some friends below if you think that they'd benefit from hearing this, or if you just want to keep this conversation going. I'm really happy to talk more about it. Send me a DM. I would love to chat. I obviously, I feel really passionate about this kind of stuff, so I love talking about it. So please do not hesitate to message me. Okay, talk to you later.